22 million black victims of Americanism are waking up, and they're gaining a new political consciousness, becoming politically mature. And as they develop this political maturity, they're able to see the recent trends in these political elections. Any minority that has a block of votes that stick together is in a strategic position. Either way you go, that's who gets it. You're in a position to determine who go to the White House and who stay in the doghouse. You're the one who has that power. You and I have never seen democracy. All we've seen is hypocrisy. When we open our eyes today and look around America, we see America not through the eyes of someone who has enjoyed the fruits of Americanism. We see America through the eyes of someone who has been the victim of Americanism. We don't see any American dream. We've experienced only the American nightmare. We haven't benefited from America's democracy. We've only suffered from America's hypocrisy. And the generation that's coming up now can see it and are not afraid to say it. 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 And are not afraid to say it.
And are not afraid to say it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is BlackWestchester.com presents the People Before Politics radio show every Sunday 6 to 8 on INTHEMIXXRADIO.com. I'm your host, AJ Woodson. Black by popular demand, Damon K. Jones is not here today. A little hiatus. The lovely Lorraine Lopez is taking a couple of weeks off. So it's me and Dr. Bob. Before we get started, I want to give a couple of real quick shout outs. Yesterday I had the pleasure of moderating a panel with two hip hop legends, Bones Malone, writer, actor, director, and A.L. Dre. Y'all might remember The Last Word in the Source magazine. That was a caricature of the rappers. He drew that for like 4, 7, 8 years, something like that. It appeared in every issue. And the three of us had a conversation on hip hop and comics, and it was for the Mount Vernon Public Library Comic Expo. It was a great conversation. Waiting for my man to edit it up and give me the video. It'll definitely appear on BlackWestchester.com as soon as I get the video. So shout to Kathy Webb, my homegirl Connie, the whole Mount Vernon Public Library staff. Kathy did an excellent job. They moved it from one screen to another. But Kathy did an excellent job. I just really wanted to big that up. That was a very good. Then I started my day off yesterday. That was yesterday. Started my day off yesterday at NYU School of Law. Damon Jones was speaking to the, I guess, law students and stuff. Him and a professor from UCLA, law professor. I mean, Damon was breaking it down in that room. They was hanging on every word. I don't think they heard anybody in law enforcement ever speak like Damon. They asked him lots of questions. He did that. We broadcasted Facebook Live. I'm sure Damon will reshare it on his page or to me in Black Westchester. So shout to my partner Damon K. Jones, and shout to everybody that was at New York NYU School of Law yesterday morning. I think that conference was for a whole weekend. But we just was there for early in the morning. Without further ado, I'd like to bring my man with the plan, Dr. B, in the place to be. Dr. Robert Baskerville, PhD, a.k.a. Brooklyn Bob. Say what's up to the people.
What's up, everybody?
Yeah.
Good to be back after taking a brief respite myself for the last week.
So for all our guests, we have a packed show today. We have two members of the legendary Atlantic Star Group. They will be in the building talking about their upcoming Atlantic Star Day celebration. Then we of course we have Black Westchester, Mount Vernon columnist extraordinaire, Atif K. Coleman. He's in the building. He will join in partially to join in as guest co-host in a bit. And him and his partner, Jesse Van Loo, will be talking about the next Save Mount Vernon rally. And then we have YCOP in the place to be. The YCOP staff is here. They're going to be breaking down what they do. They're going to be talking about their upcoming fundraiser. Just, even before they get on the air, it's groups like YCOP that some people don't even know that exists, that do so much work to help our youth, working with the youth. So, and some people don't even know the group exists or what they do. So we're gonna definitely showcase them today and talk about what they do and some of the things they do. And I encourage everybody to either attend their upcoming fundraiser or make a donation, because we need to keep organizations like that active. We always talk about what's wrong with the kids, that there's not enough program for the kids, there's not enough people working with the kids. When we find a group of people that are dedicated and encouraging and enriching our young people's lives in our community, we need to support those organizations, not just with lip service. We need to support them with our dollar bills so they can stay active. And speaking about dollar bills, while I'm on the topic, today is the 23rd, Sunday the 23rd. Last chance to advertise in the October 2018 issue of Black Westchester will be Tuesday. But don't wait till Tuesday. If you're trying to advertise, hit us tonight. Get your artwork in tomorrow. I'm running out of spaces, so definitely get that going, get that in there. It's going to be a packed edition, a lot of surprises, a lot of guest columnists and commentators. Is that what the word?
That's it.
Including First Deputy Commissioner of Westchester Department of Corrections, Louis Molina, Dr. Lenora Falani, the first African American to appear on the ballot for the United States in all 50 states. She's has a column in there that she wrote. This is going to be a powerful issue, and we're going to be paying. We're going to give on the cover we have Senator Andrea Stewart Cousins and Alexandra Biaggi, the Klein Slayer, as the Daily News or the Post has named her. So we're going to talk about them because their two victories alone is changing the shape of the New York State Democratic Party, the face of it. So we're going to talk about that. So you don't want to miss it, but if you still haven't picked up your September issue, make sure you do. It's in certain locations. Dr. Bob, before I bring in Atlantic Star, what you been up to, man?
Unfortunately, it's the same answer. I feel like Russ right now. It's the same answer I give every week. Just been working on my.
Good night. God bless.
Just working on my projects, man. That's all. Trying to finish up. As you know, AJ, I'm planning on launching a major project. So that entails a serious web platform, and so I've been doing some last minute work trying to get things together for the developer. And that's pretty much it. Teaching my classes, That's it.
That's what's up. Bob holds it down. You don't even know. Bob does a lot of stuff behind the scenes. He, including just small stuff by going over my articles and inserting a nice $50 word in there somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Make me look a little more educated than you know what I'm saying? And
we work together.
You know what I'm saying? He definitely, and as far as research, he's a beast. Nobody could. Numbers, research, he's on that like nobody's business. And I really can't wait till your thing is up and running, because I think it's going to be a benefit for a lot of people. And when it is and when you're ready to announce it, I think a lot of people should join. Oh, one other shot. We got Shout out to Urban League. We'll talk more about that as we get. But I know in October they're having their centennial celebration of the Urban League of Westchester.
Oh, of Westchester.
Yeah, of Westchester, and they're honoring Thomas, the state controller. Was it Thomas?
Tom DiNapoli.
Right, and Mary J. Blige.
Okay.
And another individual, I can't remember his name off top. I'm just looking forward to taking a power picture with Thomas DiNapoli and posting it in the paper. Like, he's just, you know what I'm saying? For obvious reasons, we'll. That's going to be a power picture. Anyway, so shout to the Urban League and shout to the Westchester County Press, who are getting ready to have an event. I don't have it in front of me, where they're celebrating 90 years of existence, their 90th anniversary. And they have a gala or something coming up soon, I think in October as well. So without further ado, if I can get a sign from outside, is the two brothers from Atlantic Star, are they here in the building? We want to have Atlantic Star come in the building and come in the room. All right, we're going to have them come in. Oh, we can turn it. Are you cold, Bob? But it gets warmer when everybody's in here. Let's see for a minute. Yeah. What's going on?
Hey. What's happening, yo?
Oh, good.
Whoa. Somebody's mic is up. Okay. Everybody pull their mic closer to them. I don't know why I'm getting a little
2,
feedback.
1, 2, 2.
I'm getting feedback from one of these mics.
2, 2.
Okay.
1, 2.
That's how you know professionals, AJ.
Absolutely. So while they set up, make sure you pull your mic to you. It moves to you so we can hear you clearly. I just want to give you an official round of applause. We have the legendary, not the first time though, but the legendary Atlantic Star in the building. Yes. It's always a pleasure. I know Damon's not here, but you know, Damon definitely proud of you guys as an alumni of Woodland High School. He always bigs y'all up. And everything y'all do, man, y'all just keep giving back to your community and representing the community. We've showcased you a few times in the Black Westchester in the newspaper. I'm just proud to be affiliated with you, just to know y'all, and you know what I'm saying. So, just hats off to y'all for everything y'all do. And y'all got
thanks a lot, bro.
And y'all got and I don't know if y'all been on since the official renaming of Tarrytown, that section of Tarrytown Road.
Yeah, Old Tarrytown Road.
Old Tarrytown Road. I pass it every month when I'm dropping off papers at the town hall.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When we get to that corner, I see it every month.
Atlantic Star Way.
Yes. Yeah. So, when the street was named, y'all had the street renaming, and I think y'all were blessed with an Atlantic Star Day as well, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And and y'all have a celebration for it coming up. So if y'all can introduce who you are and your names and talk about the upcoming event and all that.
Okay, I'm Wayne Lewis.
I'm Jonathan Lewis.
And I'm Steve Lewis, the younger brother of these guys.
All right. That's what's up. So start with Atlantic Star Way. I guess that first day came the same time, or was the street first and then the day?
The day came first.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the street came.
Okay, so talk about that. What that felt. I've had this conversation with y'all offline, but the city you from, you know,
right.
I know. And I talked to one of y'all. You know, I used to be an artist too, so you know I've been around the world and everything. But sometimes when your city does something from you where you from, it's even bigger than like some of the awards you get from associations and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because that's home.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? So
right.
how did it feel when your home decided to name a day after you and then rename a street for y'all?
Well, it was really.
I need you to pull your mic.
Okay.
Just pull it to you. Yeah.
It was really, great. It was very humbling. It was an honor to be recognized, after all the years of us doing what we do.
And still doing what you do.
And still doing what we do, exactly. And coming back, the fact that, the town would do it. We had advocates at Town Hall. Paul Finer is a great supporter of the Atlantic Star Group.
Great supporter of Black Westchester too. He writes a column every month. Yeah.
Judy Paville, and then the rest of the Greenberg town board. So
Oh, and real quick, I'm sorry. Shout out to Tahir Dupree Chase,
Yeah.
Greenberg superintendent.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's tuned in. She's checking out the show right now. So.
We can't forget about our girl.
Yes.
Greenberg superintendent.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she's doing an incredible job for the district, and we're blessed to have somebody of her caliber there that really cares for the kids. And so it's an honor. Again, just being from Greenberg, a lot of talent came up out of Greenberg, and again, to have the day, which is September 26th.
Right.
But the show will be on the 27th.
26th.
And then it was about 7-8 months later, I think it was June, when we had the street naming. So that was quite an emotional and moving night, to say the least.
Yep.
So we also had to talk. I mean, real music lasts forever. I was just saying, it's the 30th anniversary this year of my first single, and people are still playing it and talking about it. And sometimes people don't want to hear about artists that made a record 6 months ago. So I know to still be performing and still, I know that's got to be an incredible feeling. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We just got actually Donna Nolan. Shout out to her. She's the young lady. Her son was the baseball player upcoming baseball player, got killed 2 years ago in the Burger King parking lot in Yonkers.
Right.
Wow. She said, "Good evening, AJ and Dr. Bob," and she said, "Wow, always was my wedding song." Yeah. So so and I hear a lot every time y'all come on. I hear a lot of that. That's like a big wedding song.
Yeah, it was all over the world. It did a lot for us.
Yeah, actually,
still
we did.
does.
I'm sorry, John. Actually, we did the town board, or they presented at the town board, and George Latimer was there.
Yes.
And it's funny because he came in and he said, "Yeah, always." He said, "But Secret Lover," and he started naming the songs. I said, "George, you know."
Right.
I said, "You the county executive, you know the songs like that?"
Right.
But yeah, he knew them all.
Right.
He knew them all. So, and then he said you couldn't go to a wedding in the '80s without hearing that song as somebody's wedding song. So that was a huge one.
Yeah,
y'all definitely get love. It's from elected officials to locals. I mean, from everybody, and y'all are legends for it. Like Damon always talks about, to see somewhere people from where he came, where he grew up. You know what I'm saying? And he knew, I guess, one of the younger brothers. I'm not sure who's.
Yeah, he went to school with me.
Okay, it was you. Yeah, and he said, he would always be at the house and. He didn't even know, that y'all was really doing. Then he saw a video of y'all. He was like, hey, on the TV. He was like, he always tells that story. So, yeah. So, what do y'all, now talk about the celebration. What's coming the celebration is at the
Doubletree Hotel in Terrytown, New York.
Okay, now tell us about that. Talk about the whole celebration, why y'all doing it, when it is, what is it going to be about. I know, Stephen said so when we had the Yonkers mayor on last week, and he said some of the proceeds are going to the Sharon community in Yonkers, which is a homeless shelter. You know what I'm saying? And the mayor of Yonkers thanked y'all, and also was a big fan of yours. He said last week he was very happy to hear that y'all were coming on the show this week.
Oh, that's great, man. Yeah. Well, first, and then I'm gonna let Stephen give you more information because. He's really doing a great job putting this stuff together for us. But we are in the midst of a world tour.
Wow.
And we just came back from European stuff, or France and UK and everything, and then we did more dates here. So it was so perfect because we're stumbling right up on Atlantic Star Day. So we said what we're going to do is sweep through town, do that whole celebration, and then when Stephen tied in, it was about Woodlands High School students giving back, and so we said, no, absolutely, we got to tie that in to the show. That's where we're from. Our parents and friends and loved ones and community gave to us. This is perfect to give back. So that whole merging came together. So proceeds from the gold and platinum packages are going to go to the scholarship fund, Woodlands High School Scholarship Fund. But the actual celebration is the next day after Atlantic Star Day, on the 27th, Thursday night at the Doubletree Hotel in Terrytown. And there's an after party following the concert, and it's just gonna be great, man. It's gonna be like the whole town of Greenburgh. Actually, Westchester is almost like family.
Right.
So it's like we're getting together with family. We can't wait to see. It's always great to see all these faces you haven't seen forever. And then, a lot of people you've never met, but they're from where you're from.
Right.
But they've always loved and supported the music. So I want to see all these people. I want to make sure everybody. And even people are coming in from California. They're coming in from Atlanta. I think somebody's coming in from Vegas. They might even be coming internationally.
Right.
So it's not just a Westchester thing, it's everybody. And when we promote, we try to do a whole, whoever we know around the world, come and be a part of this.
I know, like I met y'all the first time y'all showed up on the show, but I've always thought like y'all were extended family of mine. I've worked with some of your family, your nephew, and for the life of me, his name escapes me right now.
Tehran?
Yes. And I think Brian Marable, you relate to Brian? Brian, yeah, I worked with him, and I was a part owner of his Conscious Brothers clothing that he had. So we worked together.
Tehran and Brian are cousins.
Right. Oh, Tehran and Brian are cousins.
Yeah.
Okay, so I knew there was a link there somewhere. So
Right.
I've always heard about about y'all, and Tehran is an incredible producer in his own. It's a shame. I don't know if he's ever had anything actually come out, but I know I've heard his production. He's an incredible.
Yeah, he's working.
You have a
on
talented family. I mean, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's an incredible. I really wish him the most success, and I wish that some of the stuff we was working on had come out. Some of the stuff we were trying to collaborate
right.
on.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he's been doing it. I was working with him in the '90s, so you know what I'm saying. So he's been
right.
doing this thing for a minute. So
Right.
so shout to them too as well. Anything? If anybody wants to buy tickets, or for, where do you go? Where
For
do you
tickets and information, you can email us at firstchoiceentertainment914@gmail.com. And again, that's firstchoiceentertainment914@gmail.com. And I think you have. Let me just give you a phone number too, AJ. I think I handed you a flyer. And the phone number that they can call is 914-230-5002. And
say that one more time for everybody.
230-5002. And we're about 5 days out, and things is moving. So, guys, get your tickets.
So the last time you were on, you're about to drop a new CD, Metamorphosis. It's been out. How's it doing? Has it been received the way you wanted? Still making albums after all. I mean, I'm dating myself. Albums. Still making albums after all these years.
Yeah.
Well, it's progressively moving. I mean, we're doing it ourselves, so it's
Right,
not like
right.
this big
Well, that's always the
machine
best
or
way.
conglomerate
Yeah.
behind us. So we're not under any type of constraints, and we don't feel rushed. We're just basically, letting the album grow. It's doing good in the international market, in Japan and England, and we're working on a deal in Japan right now, licensing deal for some, to do a separate situation over there. From some of the songs off the record, so it's starting to take legs. It's moving.
I want to piggyback on something you just said, and we try to educate people. And a lot of our young people want to get into entertainment.
Right.
When you're with a record company, I had put out a book some years ago, and I got frustrated that it didn't push off like that the first month, because belonging to a record company, or if you're putting out a movie, if you're not moving it, in the beginning, right away, you either further down or you don't get as much promotion, and sometimes labels drop you, and
Right.
movies get not in the movie theater no more.
Right.
But when you do it yourself, you know what I'm saying? One, you have more control, you get more money of it, and two, it doesn't have the same effect. It's not just dead if it doesn't blow up the first month.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It continue
Exactly.
in its progression. And I just want you to speak on that and educate, those who's trying to get in the business and do it themselves these days. The power of doing it yourself.
Well, one of the things when you're doing it yourself, that knocks out the politics.
Absolutely.
And you can place the stuff anywhere you want to place it as long as you have the means to place it there.
Right.
Now, of course, as we all know, it takes a lot longer unless you have a substantial amount of funds. But when you do it yourself, you put it wherever you want to put it. You take your time. Nobody's giving you deadlines. Nobody's saying if you don't have this by this time, we're cutting it or whatever. And you also, it makes you hands-on with everybody that you deal with, and you build relationships. And then each place you travel, and it helps, like us, we're fortunate because we have a fan base already.
Right.
So whatever country we find ourselves in, all the DJs and all the people who run the industry come to meet us. And so we don't have to go through all these channels to get them the CD and to promote it. They're dying to do it anyway.
Right.
So it's a great thing. Now, as far as the kids first starting out in the U.S., it's going to be a lot more difficult if you don't have a fan base yet when you're trying to do it yourself and you're not tied into
the machine.
Thank you for that. I was trying to think of the right word without being too political.
Right, I know.
If you're not tied into those folks, it's going to take a lot longer. But you can build your fan base. Just make sure what you got is crushing. Get your YouTube page, get your Facebook, Instagram, all of that social media. And especially kids, I see them all the time, how they gravitate to all something has to do is click.
Right.
It doesn't have to be the most progressive or musical or what.
Absolutely.
You just have to have something that clicks with them and a certain charisma that clicks with them. And that's how it works, especially with the younger crowd. And then it's on. Just make sure you know how to do your business correctly and don't just slack,
Right. Now I want to when I came out and when y'all came out, which was a lot before us, I came out in '88. Y'all came out a lot, earlier. I don't want to date y'all, but y'all came out a lot earlier. We had to be part of a machine to reach the world, and you no longer have to do that now.
Right.
You could actually create something in your basement, on your computer, through social media, and reach the world now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there was no way if we didn't sign to a machine, we couldn't reach the different countries. We couldn't reach all over this country. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes all over the state. So how have you, with the longevity, which a lot of people wish they had the longevity, have you adapted and incorporated that into what you do? Not change, but incorporate the best of that into what you do to continue your longevity.
Well, it's with us. The music always spoke for itself.
Absolutely.
We didn't have a lot of, how should I say, visual frills. But what we did have was music, and I think our music had the ability to seep into the hearts and minds of people, and we were doing like solid songs. Lyrically sound, musically sound, and it was a perfect marriage. And I think that's what really that's what really got us out there, and that's what continues to keep us out there, is people want to hear those songs, the old stuff along with the new stuff, and the new stuff is still growing, like we were discussing a little earlier. But the traditional Atlantic Star sound it's an institution now, and people just don't know it here, but they love it and appreciate it all over the world. In some places, it's crazy. Like when you go to Japan and London and Europe and places like that, where you wouldn't think it's hyped as it is until you get there, and it's like, wow, you feel like you get Michael Jackson status. So
right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's the music. That's what it is. It's the music.
And I find too that we all find that when we travel around the world, it's like the whole world loves music and loves art, no matter how trends change.
Right.
America is its own little place where it's so political,
right,
and so fickle with people's music and talent. but when you're born here, you think the USA is the only place.
Right.
So you get caught up in that whole game. But when you travel, they love you just as much today as they did yesterday.
Absolutely.
And again, they love all types of art and painters and sculptures and just, you know,
The full gambit.
the photographers. And like right now, nobody wants a photographer because everybody shoots on their iPhone. And
Right.
people are going, you're missing the whole point. I'm looking for an artist who
Right.
has that eye to capture something that you're not going to capture on your phone or whatever. But we've lost that whole artistic thing. Everything is politics, instant dollars and cents. But that's so good for us because we're still artists. So whenever we travel around the world, that's where we get more love.
Dr. Bob has a question. I can see you.
Yeah. I mean, firstly, guys, I got to tell you that I'm sure I speak for an entire generation of people when I say that your music was quite literally the soundtrack of our youth. I'm just over 50 now, and increasingly I find myself struck by feelings of nostalgia. And some of your music comes back for me and sort of, you know, revivifies those times.
Right.
And, you know, I think about myself and my relationship to music, and I must say that that the sound of that generation instilled in me, at least, a little bit of the romantic.
Right.
Because your music was certainly about love in an unadulterated and unapologetic kind of way.
Right.
And I wondered, are you still making music that treats love as a prominent theme, and how does it resonate with
Right.
younger people, and especially here, I think, as a man?
Right.
You know, the difference between myself in term as a man in terms of how I relate to love and loving a woman versus a younger generation of men for whom I think, you know, feelings of romance and you
Yeah,
know,
it's all about hitting skins and stuff
Right,
like that.
right,
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, with to some degree now the music I think has numbed people. It's almost like a drug or opiate or something, you know, where it's done something to numb the feelings because, you know, everything is so quick and quick fix, and there's a lot of negativity going on and violence and so on and so forth, and that's what a lot of the kids feed into. They you know, everything has got to be hyped. But what I do see with some of the artists like that are cutting through, the younger artists that's bringing the old school thing back.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you see like artists like Bruno Mars,
right, definitely. Mm-hmm.
you know, he's captured the essence of the past, and he's been able to assimilate the past with the new, and I think that's what makes him so unique. I really like his music, you know. And there's other artists that are doing it. I'm terrible with names, but when I hear the songs, it's like, yeah, I like that, you know.
Gotcha.
But I feel that music is starting to revert back. I really feel that people are getting in tune again. And, you know, I mean, how much can you sell negativity, you know, and degrading women and, you know, and glorifying drugs and murder and all that stuff? That plays out after a while, you know. And so what we've noticed when we go out and play and we do shows, you can actually feel the vibe of the people where they appreciate the fact that they can come and bring their families to a show and not only be entertained but really taken back, that, you know, have that moment where they can relax and just enjoy themselves. You know, it's not all this, you know, agitation. You know what I'm saying?
Let me cut in a little bit because I want to ask you a question. Like, and I've had this conversation. I think we've talked about it before too. The music, and then a lot of people don't talk about it. First off, a lot of music is put out for a reason to control our youth and the negative
Oh,
aspects
no
and stuff.
doubt.
Talk about the power of music, the positive music, what it does. Like if you listen to a lot of gospel music, you just can't help but to feel inspired.
Right.
If you listen to a lot of gangster music,
Right.
you just can't help but to, you have
Feel
that mind frame.
destructive
So
and
talk about the power
Well,
of music and how the powers to be sometimes utilize that against our youth. I know that's something you.
Let me answer his question first. As far as the new Metamorphosis CD is concerned, we don't exactly know yet. We have to wait and see, because the 2 or 3 songs that's been taking notice thus far have been It's Party Time is about it's like a house song, and it talks about your life, working your fingers to the bone, making nickels and dimes, and mad with your boss, and just life is just frustrating. So take all of that out to the dance floor and get it off your back. Don't let it take you out. Don't give up. Don't let the powerhouse be victorious in your life. You overcome that. So it's not really a love song. It's a life song. And then we have another song called "This Is My Life." It's for the youth. And when they chant it, they hear the beat first. It's like hip hop.
Right.
But after they chant it enough, they don't realize they'll be singing about themselves.
Well, my best friend,
getting their act together.
that was the first single, so that was like the love song.
Yeah. My best friend is like a universal love song for whoever it was that held you down in life. It could be your grandmother. It could be your best friend. It could be anybody that that held you down and believed in you and took care of you. And that's as loving as you can get when you talk about universal love or God's love. But as far as the typical love songs of Atlantic Star, we have yet to see how they're going to relate to this stuff, because we believe we found the sweet spot between the old Atlantic Star and saving the integrity of all of the melodicness and the musical orchestrative arrangements and all the stuff and the performances, but staying up to date with what they relate to as far as beats, updated sounds, the swagger of certain stuff that you do. So we combined it. We think we found the sweet spot.
Right.
But I've actually heard young people admit to me, right standing there talking to me, that they want to do some good stuff and they admire some stuff we did, but they really believe in their hearts, if they don't go along with the guidelines, with all the negativity and the cursing and the degrading and all that stuff, that they won't sell. They won't.
Well, sometimes the
They'll be
labels won't
whacked.
the labels won't promote them.
And they know
because there
that.
is music out there. It's
Right.
just not playing every 22 seconds on the stations where R&B and hip hop supposedly live across the nation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
yeah.
Well, it's like you said earlier. Basically, everything is not by chance; it's by design.
Right.
Yep.
And basically, that whole concept started out one way, but then it evolved into something that became extremely negative, and it was directed to us or our folks, and
Right.
basically at our demise, because out of negativity, a whole nother industry gets paid and makes a lot of money.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what the kids have to realize. Being desensitized causes you to do things that you might not do if you weren't desensitized. And so basically, you have to, it's all by design, and it's it's a lot of greedy and evil folks out there that want to make money
At any cost.
by any means necessary. And basically it comes down to, it's nothing personal, it's just business.
And unfortunately, they will always find one of us who wants to make that money to
Well,
use
there
us
you
to
go.
poison our
They
minds.
hire us to kill us
Right.
for a lot of money.
Right.
But, and then people that do it, they don't let their kids be a part of it.
Right. You know how many gangster raps I heard say, "Oh no, I don't let my kids listen to that,"
Right.
but you let all our kids listen to
Right,
it.
right. Right.
I mean,
man.
I wonder the extent to which artistic greatness is in some respects undermined by the pursuit of financial success. Because really, it seems like the best artists always breaking with convention and, doing something new, novel, original. That is not necessarily that's untested in the market. And that if you're not just going to repeat a little bit of what, whoever before you was doing, but really make your mark and create something that's lasting.
Right.
That you have to be willing to put it all on the line.
Well, yeah, it's definitely possible, but in most instances now, with the way the music industry has evolved, it's like mind control for economic gain.
There you go.
And then again, you say, well, who's benefiting from this mindset?
Right. Let me ask, when you guys, obviously you wanted to make great music.
Right.
I don't know what your financial ambitions were. It seems to me like most of the cats that I know who go into music, their goal is to be that dude. They want to become millionaires, billionaires. They want to, it really is the main measure is financial success.
Well,
and I wondered for y'all how much the financial considerations weigh.
That came later.
That came later, yeah. It was like, we love what we did.
Right.
Because when we were coming up, we weren't getting paid hardly anything.
Right.
But it was just the hype and the love of what we did, and the love of music, And basically, all money should be is the fringe benefits of your hard labor.
Right.
And your integrity. That's what it really boils down to. But it's changed. Somewhere along the way, it changed. It went from like going to a splashed out restaurant with filet mignon to just going to McDonald's and having it your way with the quickness.
Right. Wow.
That's a good example. I just want to say too, the early moments of hip hop, we had to prove ourselves in the streets and in the community and everywhere else before we got the privilege of a record deal to then go out and then then we had to do a lot of shows and prove ourselves before we actually made some money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now it's like a lot of these artists think a record contract is a birthright instead of a privilege, because you know what I'm saying. And it's like we don't have the same thing. They don't have the same hustle. It is all about money, and it's all about because you can make a lot of money. Now the what they call reality TV now. Right. They pay us to show some of the most ignorant elements of our life.
Right.
And make lots of money and become big stars. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're in a time where you become a celebrity for nothing. Like, with no talent, you just become a celebrity.
No talent at all.
Right.
And could be the biggest star in the world.
Right.
And you wonder, you stop and say to yourself, black people have always been, throughout the history of the Bible, the Torah, even the Quran.
Right.
There's super intelligent ones. There's super supreme beings of the earth that use their minds and that can. So now we've come into what we call the last days, where the black community has been dumbed down through all this stuff that we're talking about, and nobody even wants to stop to analyze what's going on here. It's like, how come you give up your whole life, and if somebody even whispers to you or touches you, you'll break their arm if they interrupt you looking at the Basketball Wives or something like that. What? Because it's all about negativity and degrading what our women are about or whatever. The reason why people don't want to even stop and analyze this is because the money aspect. When so much money is being made off of this stuff, it's being forced into our mainstream media, and all these things are stuck on it to attract us and to attract and to relate to our lifestyles, and we forget what they're doing to us.
Well, most of the time now it's like we're working off our base nature, like what they call in psychology is like the id, the ego, and the super ego. We're at the base part of our nature, just working off the five senses. And that's it. Whatever feels good, smells good, tastes good, looks good, and sounds good. That's what I'm going to do, without incorporating the other things that the buffers,
Balance.
You know, the balance, and that's where we are. So for us as a people, we got to come back. The most important thing I feel is the spirituality, and that's what we had in our music.
Absolutely.
It wasn't even though it wasn't like I would say churchy or this or specific, but it had a spirit to it. You know, the music of the day back then. When you listen
that music
to
has
Marvin,
a spirit to it too, just not the same spirit.
Exactly.
See, I mean, I just be real. There's spiritual stuff we don't understand. There's things that work in. That's a whole nother show. But
spirits.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I mean, when we were growing up, we listened to everything. We were listening to Marvin and Aretha Franklin and James Brown and Stevie, and we were listening to classical and operas and jazz and everything. So the influences were vast, and it was motivational. I think that's what drove us into wanting to be in music, because I remember when we were young, we had this radio on top of our refrigerator, and those are the days when AM radio was big.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And when you heard, you know, Cousin Brucey would come on, Cousin Brucey, Cousin Brucey, and they playing the top 40, and it was not just a, you know, black or this or white or whatever. It was everything.
It was the Beatles, and then it was all Motown.
You know what I'm saying?
Everybody.
So it was so inspiring. It was so.
And even the era after that, BLS, when my mother used to
Very
on
much
Saturday morning,
Right.
you would hear the Bee Gees,
Right.
and Tears for Fears, and you would hear
Right.
Madonna with Stevie Wonder,
Right.
and then the beginnings of the Run DMCs and
Right.
Curtis
With
Blows, you know,
Aerosmith
and you would hear
Run
all
DMC,
that on the same
Yeah.
radio show
Right.
at the same time. And I was just thinking, and the last thing, because you know we got this conversation for like hours, but I do have a busy lineup.
Right.
But I also one of the things in the early days of when y'all were starting to do your music, when y'all were doing it, and in hip hop, you could tell the artists apart.
Right.
Like all the artists you named, they
Everybody
all had
had
a
an
sound.
identity.
And in my day,
Just got
you
to
knew
that
it was Big Daddy Kane, you knew it was
Right.
Rakim, you knew it was Run
Right.
DMC,
Eric B. and
you
Rakim.
knew it was this one, you knew who
Dougie
it was.
Fresh.
Now it's like India.Arie
Mm-hmm.
plays a guitar, gets 9 nominations, and the next year everybody gets a guitar player to try to sound like her. Seriously, and it's Beyonce does whatever, so every label looks for a Beyonce.
Right.
You know, Jay-Z moved so many units. So when I came back from Atlanta, I was in Atlanta for 10 years. Came back to New York while I was visiting. I heard 10 records on Hot 97 that sound like the Lox, the group from Yonkers.
Mm-hmm.
It was none of them were them though. But 10 records that sound just like. I was like, oh, the Lox got a new record. Oh, that's not them. Oh wait, the Lox got a new record. Oh, that's not them. So you know, I mean, we've lost our identity,
That's
and we
right.
have allowed them to tell us
That's
what
right.
we're supposed to be.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And,
Right.
and as opposed to us making our own sound and having our own individuality and creating our own thing. And I think that's the difference between the music
Right.
y'all made and I made, you know, to the music that comes out now. So
And just on the other side, let me just interject. On the other side of that, though, is all of our good music is going to the Sam Smiths and all them guys.
right.
You know what I'm saying? And they really making the money. And
Right,
we,
right.
You know, we scrapping the bottom of the barrel.
Absolutely.
And again, that's by design.
Absolutely.
Somebody told us in the black community, somebody stood up in a big podium in the sky and said, black people, the thing that y'all were given, the gift y'all were given from God more than anybody else in the world, the gift of music, forget about that. See, music used to be the most respected thing in America. Musicians used to be
But
the
black
most.
music.
Yeah. But musicians themselves, somebody
Musicians.
that can play an instrument.
Well, they started by taking music programs out of schools. We've had that conversation before too. Like I read an article before, and I told you last time we were on. Kenny G said music saved his life and is the reason that he continued. Like when he got bored with school,
Right.
it was music that kept him in school.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't going to school for English and math. He was going to school for music.
Right.
And you see what he became. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's just like,
Right.
you know, so music has saved a lot of our lives. I mean, music is the way we've expressed, you know, that it's the way we express each other. It's always been a form of
That's
expression
right.
between each
That's the
other.
whole thing.
And if you kill off our expression, you know what I'm saying? Like,
See,
like
no, but you're saying what's going on right now.
Right.
Well, the thing is,
Same thing. When we talk about this control, control and everything that's going on.
Right.
It's hard to control people when you still have organic musicians creating, and because when you do musical notes, that's all coming out of you. So spirit comes out of you, and that's that spirit that comes from God that's going out over the people. That's what's trying to be killed, that spirit from God, because you can't control with your agenda. So that's why they're killing all the music, all the great organic singers and musicians. Like when Aretha went, I was like, well, I never thought I'd see in my time, 20th and 21st century, all the great organic heroes all either being killed or dying. And what's left is people that don't even really like music per se. They just like fame.
Music is a lane to something else.
Right.
Not music to be doing music. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Right.
I'm music, so I want to be an actor, but I got a little skill here and I can do this. Get me in my acting career off, or my fashion career off, or my whatever.
Right.
So I do have to go, and as always, I always want to say y'all are welcome anytime. Steve, you just call up. We get y'all in because we can have these conversations, and I would like to have more of these because where it was going, if we continued, it was about to get real deep.
Well, what I was going to say before I leave is this. What people have to understand is this. Black music made the music industry what it is globally. The English boys that picked it up from Muddy Waters and B.B. King and likes of those artists made millions and millions of dollars. But what they will admit, when you talk to the Stones, when you talk to Eric Clapton,
Elvis. Elvis was imitating black people. That's what he was doing.
Well, the guy that Elvis got his the stuff from, and I can't remember his name, was a carbon copy. And next time I run into you, I'm going to bring the music so you can hear it. But all I'm saying is black music is what drove the music industry and made it what it is globally.
Well, I love to have these conversations because it gets us out of the politics and politicians and corruption.
Right.
But I got to let y'all... what's the event? What's the date? Where's the place? Phone number? How I can get a ticket? All that. If there's anything online, website or anything.
Yeah, the website again is firstchoiceentertainment914@gmail.com. The number is 914-230-5002. Doubletree Hotel, Atlantic Star Day Celebration Concert. If you miss it, you're going to really miss something.
And we love black people, white people, Latinos, everybody in the world who's ever picked up Atlantic Star record. We want to see you there. You're our family and adopted family. Make sure you are there. We'll see you there.
Absolutely. And for the CD, for those, because since you're doing it yourself and you don't have a machine promoting you, some people still don't know. What the website, the CD's out. Where can I get it?
Well, at the event, we're trying to have CDs here to sell.
Okay.
At the event.
But anybody listening, because we have people outside of Westchester listening too. So
right, you can go online and into like the sites where you can download it. But I believe Amazon, iTunes,
and iTunes,
all the
traditional
download formats.
Okay.
But what we're realizing that people want CD.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And if you can't get it from those spots, hit us up on AtlanticStarMusic.com, Atlantic Star fan page, Facebook, and they can also
Instagram
or Instagram.
Yes.
Atlantic Star Official.
Yeah.
Right, Atlantic Star Official. And they can also hit my Facebook page. If they want a CD, let us know, and we'll make sure we get it to them.
Absolutely. I just want to give you all all the credit in the world. Y'all are inspiration to a few generations, not just one. You'll cross generations, you'll cross genre, you'll cross all kinds of things that they try to keep us in a box. Y'all cross all of those things, and y'all are still doing it, and people are still paying to see what y'all created years ago and still love it. And your work y'all do for the community, giving back to the high school specifically, and all the other things y'all do. And I know you were teaching music or something to teaching people how to write songs. I forgot what you said last time, but I know you were teaching music.
Yeah. Off and on throughout the year. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to credit y'all and keep y'all going. And I want to say everybody needs to come out to the hotel and support by buying a ticket. All those I can't make it need to go buy a CD and support real music. being put out by real musicians, not the industry.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? We want good music. We just don't want to pay for it. Like, I spoke at a kid. They may never have me back again either. I spoke to a group of kids and I asked them, what was all the things they complain about artists? I mean, music, right? They named all those things. I named the art. I said, what are the artists that you say are the biggest offenders that put that out? They named it. I said, how many people have music by them? They all had their hand up. I named positive artists who are known, and half of them didn't know who none of them artists was, and half of them, none of them had the records. You understand this music? So we say we want, but that's not what we support.
Right.
You know, so when you have good music, we need to. When you spend your money, that's like making a vote for a candidate. You're making a vote for what you want.
Yeah.
Right.
You're speaking to the industry, showing the industry what you want. You buy real music, and enough real music sells. You know what? They're gonna start selling real music because they want to make money.
Right.
right.
You understand
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, you only support the negative stuff. They're going to continue to
That's
sell
right.
that because that's what they see makes
Right.
money.
That's right.
So I just
Money,
want to
money.
say that, and I want to congratulate y'all and applaud y'all for
Thank you.
making real music.
Thanks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
love
And
it.
representing Westchester to the fullest. Like every
Right.
You know,
But
Welcome,
AJ, I got to
brother.
just shout out to you guys too, you and Damon, man, and this platform.
Yeah.
Because I've watched it grow, man, and you guys are really moving and doing some great things in the community.
thank you
So,
very much.
You know, I just applaud y'all for serving the community too.
Thank
Right.
you very much.
Absolutely.
Thank you very
Absolutely.
much.
It's a
Absolutely.
beautiful thing.
And
Just got to bring the light back, man. We've been in the darkness for too long.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, like my brother Wayne and my other brother David wrote this song called Living in Darkness. Got to get into the light, got to open up my eyes and see. And he had a lyric in there that said, I got a phone call from the universe to come into the light. And that's what we
Wow.
do. It's time for the phone call. It's time to come out of the darkness. We've been in darkness
We
too
need to
long.
unplug from the matrix.
We got to start loving again.
Right.
and stop fighting those who are trying to unplug us.
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
There you go.
So I thank y'all, and like I said, y'all welcome anytime. You know how to get y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all know how to reach me, but
Yeah.
I speak to you the most.
Yep.
Please, anytime y'all want to speak on anything, y'all want to come promote anything, holla, because it's and we
Appreciate you,
we
man.
can definitely in non-political times when we don't have campaigns going on, we can have a
Yeah.
whole show with just this. yeah. The
Excellent.
conversation.
Excellent. All
So
right.
thank you very much.
Thank
and
you.
applaud
Thank you, man.
And let me give you an official. Way to go. They switched screens
Thank
on
you
me.
very
This
much.
one I just had to touch it with my finger. Like, I gotta get the little mouse in it. So, yeah.
My brothers, it
Thanks,
was a
brother.
pleasure, and hopefully we'll have the joy of listening to your music on Thursday night.
Absolutely.
Yes. Come on out.
Absolutely.
All
Yes.
right. Thank you, brother.
We're just going to fellowship and have fun.
All right, sounds good.
And just so you know, I didn't get to read all the comments, but there's a lot of people that love y'all and say we love y'all, and there was a lot of comments like that. So,
Cool.
as always, yeah.
Cool, cool,
Excellent.
cool.
Excellent.
I want to thank everybody who's checking out the show right now. I want to give a couple of shout outs. Of course, Lorraine Lopez, who couldn't be here, she's tuned in. Tasha Diaz from Yonkers, Sean Patterson Howard, Janelle Albritton, again, Superintendent Greenberg, Superintendent Tahira Dupree Chase, the Future Society, they do a lot of good work for the kids in Mount Vernon. D. Wilson, who has posted 3 times, I love you guys, as she did the last time y'all were on the show. Jesse Van Loo, who's coming up soon. He's going to be in the studio soon. Of course, we got Atif Khalil in the building. We got Y-Cop in the building. Shout out to Kevin Bunch, who set up the Y-Cop interview. Donna Nolan. Michael Russo said, man,
Mike Russo.
Wayne and Jonathan, what's up, guys? See
What's
you
up, Mike?
Thursday. And he said, minor in the house. I don't know. I guess y'all know.
Might not.
Oh, okay.
Might not.
Okay.
Just
Yeah,
recording
yeah,
studio.
yeah.
Okay.
Blast from the
Oh,
past.
then he corrected and said, "Why not?" After that, yeah. Charlie Khalil, Pat English from Long Island. Who else? Gail Baxter from Yonkers. Cicely Grievous. Great Statement Wayne. 008. That's Mike wrote that as well.
Double
That's the last
08.
video we did.
Oh, okay.
Like 007.
All right,
008.
and Louise Cherigo, who lives in Greenberg, and everybody else who's tuned in. So I just want to thank all of y'all, and I want to invite our next guest to come in, and I want to thank y'all for coming again.
All
And
right.
again,
for having
anytime I say the door is open.
Thank you, man.
I know people say that, but I mean for real, test me. The door is open. Like, y'all want to come. Let me know ahead of time.
All right,
We'll get you. All right.
My
Thank
brothers
you,
have a
man.
good one, man.
Okay.
All right,
Good to
God
see
bless
y'all
y'all.
again.
So as they leave, I want Atif to come in real quick, and I want to introduce him, and then we're gonna bring in everybody else. But Atif. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, my brother. Yes. Actually, I need to be out there to get a picture, but I got to be here at the same time. I can't do.
You need to.
Yeah.
You want to stand
Actually, Bob, can you just talk for like?
Okay.
Just talk,
Yes.
just
Yes.
talk.
Yes.
Yeah. 'Cause you can't
So-
can't have dead air. Go ahead.
So, actually, everyone. So while AJ takes a picture and our other guests file in, I did want to remind people of a couple of events, and something that I've been preparing for is the Razorbacks 40th anniversary celebration, which is going to be taking place Thursday, October 11th, from 6 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. I believe at the Green Tree in New Rochelle. For those of you who are around my age, y'all will remember what a pivotal role that the Razorbacks had in our lives.
Absolutely. Shout to the Razorbacks, another organization that does a lot of work with our kids and molds our kids in a positive way. Everybody who's done anything has either coached or been a part of or come out of the Razorback
Right.
background.
I mean, there's lots of us have wonderful memories of our days playing in the maroon and gold uniform over at Memorial Field during the infancy of the Razorbacks, and we really do have a debt of gratitude to pay to those founding members. My parents, those of y'all who are around know my parents, Mr. B and Mrs. B, were a pivotal part of that. But in addition to that, they were joined by figures like Brother Yana Edwards and his wife, Mrs. Edwards, the Price family, and quite a few whose names slip me at the moment. And it really does give us an opportunity, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, to really show our gratitude for the wonderful example that they set for us when we were young people and the tremendous effort that they put to get that team off the ground. And so I wanted to extend a sincere wish to everyone to come on out on Thursday, October 11th, to help support the Razorbacks on their 40th anniversary, and hopefully we'll share more news with y'all about the event. We would considering having them come into the studio to actually talk about it. If
Absolutely. Bob's setting that up. So.
Yeah.
yeah. Bob is setting that. But I want to real quick, because we got to keep moving. Everyone has heard me over the last couple of weeks speak about a new addition to Black Westchester. You either know him as Atif Khalil or Atif K. Coleman. He is in the building, so y'all can see what he look like. And we want to give him an official round of applause for the work he does. It's important. I want to say this because we was just talking about our youth. A lot of times, and me and Damon used to talk about that, a lot of brothers, Napoleon Holmes, a lot of brothers who were in the community back in the day, a lot of them died. They were power brokers, and they were strong in the community, and they died and took their knowledge and collection and connection. It died with them, and then we were left. Our generation, a lot of us were left trying to find our own way. Where if we had, and actually, in his last years, I have to admit my part in this. I was going to church with Napoleon Holmes, and I spent the time with him in his last 2 years, few years, and I didn't take the opportunity to pick his brain enough. You know what I'm saying? So what Damon and I try not to do is to make the same mistake, and we try to, when we see younger people that have something, we try to sow everything we can sow into them. One of them is Atif K. Coleman. I believe that, and if you watch the Clinton interview that he did with Mayor Clinton Young, you can see, I told Damon, even before the other person made that comment, I was like, yo, while it's rough and it got a ways to go and you still have things to learn, I can see that whole setting that you did, the sit-down interview, right. It was reminiscent of some of the older black stuff that I used to watch, the black shows and stuff like that. You have some,
That's
right,
who came to mind.
And I think Ed Bradley was one, and a couple other people that somebody mentioned. You have that, and and anything I could do to sow that, to use the Black Westchester Forum to help
Absolutely.
grow that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I try to do. Now, just like I had editors with me that gave me headaches and bugged the hell out of me, I only do it to bring out the best in you because you have something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I want to bring out more in you than some of the others. You know what I'm saying? Because there's something about you.
And I encourage AJ to get your best from you.
Right. But it's only going to, and you know what? People credit me for so much stuff now.
Yeah.
It's because of those editors, those magazine publishers, those people in the community, like Barry that used to be the security guard at the high school, who saw me cutting and rode his bike to my house and pulled me out, and called me out in front of my father, pulled me out like a man, took me to the corner and let me have the business and said, you want to be this or you want to be that?
Right.
And he was like, I'm going to treat you like a man. You want to be a man? And I'm not going to do this in front of your father this time. Keep messing up. The next conversation always in front of your father.
Yeah.
But they saw, and there was cats on 4th Street that saw me fooling around with the 40s and the whatever. Only thing I cared about was banging on tables and making rhymes and, having that 40 or whatever and getting the girls and partying. There was a lot of people that saw something in me. And the reason I'm not dead or in jail like a lot of my peers is because of a lot of people older than me. And I'm trying to pay it forward. And everything in our interactions, you know what I'm saying? So I want to say that on the air.
I appreciate
face
that.
to face. I've said it, but I want people to see you because they've seen some of your work on the Black Westchester Mount Vernon Facebook page. They've seen some articles you wrote. Your article that you wrote about the academic spotlight.
Yes.
I just laid that out for the October issue.
William Phillips.
I just laid that out for the October issue, and I added in the quote that we got from Dr. Hamilton, the superintendent. I got a quote from him. We gave a great quote. So that will be in the October paper, but you've seen them in the paper. You've seen the Clinton. If you have not seen the former Mount Vernon Mayor Clinton exclusive interview, I've had people who said, and I shared it to one of them, they was like, I'm not even really I've never felt Clinton. I've never been a Clinton dude, but I'm glad I watched this interview because it was very informative, and a lot of people said that. And I just want to give you your props, and I want the world to get a chance to see you. They know who we're talking about.
Thank you. And while we're on this topic, I just want to give you and Damon big kudos. I want to thank you guys for bringing me on and seeing some things in me that I don't even see in myself.
That's funny.
That's what happens. Sometimes you be caught up in just moving forward. You don't see some things that you don't know about yourself, and so people could detect it. They could see it without you seeing it. So thank you for giving me this platform, the opportunity to do what I enjoy doing. I love news, as I told you when we first met.
Absolutely.
I enjoy news. I enjoy reading the news. I watch the paper. I watch the news every night. So this is a good platform because the issues that we've got, the challenges that we're facing in Mount Vernon. So we need someone on that particular news platform to lay out the facts.
And I promise you, we're going to bump heads creatively.
Yes, we
are.
I
promise you, it'll bring out the best in you.
I respect
you.
Like,
even when I wasn't trying to hear those older than me, I remember it.
Right.
I'd be like, get out of here, old man. I was a little more disrespectful than you are. I'm going to be honest. I wasn't trying to hear nothing.
Right.
I was a little more hard-headed. But
I remember, know where your heart is.
I remember what they said to me. Now, some things there were a few things, about being hard-headed. I needed not just a brick to fall on my head. I needed a building to fall on my head a few times before I got it. But I got it, though. You know what I'm saying? Right. Eventually. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to save you from having to go through that. As much as possible, anything I can do to help you. Because we're in our 50s. I don't care how we look and how we dress and how we act.
Yeah, when Bob said 50. Bob, you really 50?
Yeah, him and Damon just turned 50 2 days back to back.
No, Damon turned 50. I turned 51.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah,
my last birthday.
And I turned 50. And their birthdays are back to back, like 2 days apart.
I mean, I played on the original Razorback.
I just turned 52.
So.
I turned 52 in February. So we're in our 50s. We're not in our 30s no more.
I thought y'all was in the 40s. Like
we're not
40s.
even in our 40s no more. And you are the future.
Yeah.
You and your peers are the future of whatever activism looks like, whatever informing the people, speaking truth to power looks like. And you are the future of that. So, we just want to sow as much as we can because at some point, and shout out to brother Brother Ayers out there, because
Yeah.
for a lot of us,
Grew up with Brother Ayers.
he sold a
Yes.
lot into us. Like
He
Damon
did.
always says, he sold a lot. Now he can sit back and be a little less involved because there is a Damon and stuff out there. You know, Damon credits a lot to Brother Ayers. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And
I do
those
too.
and those you know that were in that group that made him brought out whatever they needed to bring out in him and encouraged him
course.
to be who he is
I
now.
was just talking to Mr. Kevin Bunch. He's related to Coleman. That used to be down at the Boys and Girls Club.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I know Coleman. I used to go down to the Boys and Girls Club. So it's a small world too, Mount Vernon too.
Right.
Yeah.
So, any words real quick, Bob? I know you.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to add anything into this before we move on to the next.
No, I mean, all I'll do is echo your sentiment that I recognize the first time that I read Atif's work that he was a real talent
Thank you, Bob.
that needed to be cultivated and a welcome addition to the Black Westchester organization. And I think his contributions since he came on board really do speak to themselves. He's a very prolific young man.
All this love, man. I'm telling you, I appreciate it.
No, you want me to tell because I write and I know the struggles of writing well.
Right.
For me, it's a very can be a very drawn out process, as AJ will attest. And one of the things that was evident to me from your productivity is you write well and you can write with a certain speed, which I think is important for a news organization. So you
yeah,
got
because
nice
it's a much
balance.
faster world right now.
It is.
Yeah, I
It's
can't.
I'm gonna be
It
honest.
is.
Yo, he would write 10 stories a day if I encouraged him
Yeah, I
to.
can't do that.
Like I can't keep up, especially not just on Mount Vernon. I can't. I think that's too much. The people are just tired of it, but
It's true.
they still need to be informed though.
Yeah.
Shout to D. Wilson said Atif is young, gifted, and black. Sean Patterson
D,
Howard
Lady
said.
D. Yeah.
Sean Patterson Howard said that was a great interview, and she said we must lift as we climb. We can't just
Sean
criticize.
Patterson.
We must cultivate. And I hope that I do a balance of that. And I have to check myself if I'm in times that I'm not, but I hope that I'm doing a balance of that. And
Don't worry, if you get out of balance, I'm gonna check you, son. Don't worry about it.
and Luis Cherico said, yes, I just turned 52. And we are in the middle. We saw the past, and we can recognize the future. So, those few shout-outs. Now, what I want to do is I want Bob to move over here. I want to bring this.
Where do you want me?
You're going to be in the middle of the. I'm gonna bring that stool over there, and then I'm gonna have the YCOP individuals come in, and we're about to transition into the next portion of the show, and then after that we're gonna bring Jesse in, and we're gonna have you and Jesse talk about the Save Mount Vernon thing. So
you want me right here?
Yeah. So cool. Yeah, that's good. So I need to bring the bench over, and YCOP can come in the studio.
Wycott? 3 people?
Well,
Four?
one person's
Four.
gonna be sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
I don't know if they want to make the young guys
Move
sit on
over?
the bench.
Yeah, move over. Okay.
Maybe make the young guys sit on the bench and the older guys.
Gotcha.
Somebody gonna sit on the stool. 2 people. I mean, hey, I was trying to be. I need somebody's gonna sit on that bench. All right. And then you'll share the mic with whoever's closest to you. Yeah, sure. Okay. All right, so we transitioning now. We don't have the luxury of they switch to another scene in them big shows, and you never see this part of things. Okay, and if everybody can slide over just a little that direction, so Kevin is fully in the picture. Okay, and Kevin will share that mic with all of you. So YCOP, for those that know, YCOP stands for Youth Community Outreach Program. And I have in the studio Henry Wilson, the ex-director.
No, executive director.
Executive director.
The ex-director.
It said EX.
Get rid of me already.
It said EX.
First to last show, boy.
It said EX.
I'm sorry.
So
EX.
Now that just goes to show all the people that be like, oh, AJ does everything so perfectly. No, I don't. So this is live TV. This is live radio. So
I'm still there.
Executive director. We have Kevin Bunch, board member. We have Alan Ayers, brother Alan Ayers, founder, and Donna Brown, development manager. And I want to give all of y'all a round of applause.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Now, I 2 things. This has been a great show because I really like to showcase people like Atlantic Star who's doing what they're doing. and still giving back to their community. A lot of times we're dealing with politicians in this political season that we're in now, and corruption of those who don't do what they're supposed to be doing, and we have to hold their feet to the fire. But I think it's equally important, and one of the things in the vision that Damon and I had with the forming and creating of Black Westchester and in this radio show 4 years ago was to uplift our unsung heroes. There are a lot of people that do not know YCOP is a group, is an organization. There's a lot of people that do not know what y'all do. And it's a shame because of all the work y'all do for the community. And I need to showcase you. And I could do a whole show on you by myself for all the work that you've done. Mm-hmm. So you know what I'm saying? So, and we might have to do that later. But I just wanted to welcome all of you, and I want to educate the public. So what is YCOP? I said what the letters stand for. What is YCOP? When did it start? What do y'all do for all the people that do not know?
So thank you for having us, Brother AJ. We really appreciate this time and this opportunity.
Yes.
And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to defer for a minute or so to my brother, my founder, our founder of YCOP, my longtime friend, who actually brought me on to YCOP about 6 years ago. So Brother Allen is. And just give a little history of it.
Get his headphones right for him. There you go. And everybody, the mics pull up to you. Make sure you put the mic so you can speak into the mic so we can hear you clearly. Yes.
Okay, go ahead, bro.
First of all, good evening, AJ. I haven't seen you in quite a while.
Right, and I'm around the corner from him, and I know. That's how busy I've actually been, though, because I don't even go into those, and I don't even get over there often. Okay. And David wanted me to send his apologies that he really wanted to be here. He just made a move, and he's busy making a lot of things happen right now, so behind the scenes, so he's not here. But he would want to be here, definitely, especially for this segment right here.
Okay. Yeah. First, I want to tell you I'm very excited. I'm very excited. I'm living the dream. When I came up with the idea of YCOP, I was on the Mount Vernon Police Department. I was community affairs. And it was in the 80s, so that's when the crack.
Yes, the crack epidemic.
Epidemic hit Mount Vernon, and
black community, the nation as well. I mean,
exactly.
It wasn't a Mount Vernon thing. It was
right. And the idea came to me to create a relationship between the police and the community. So I was watching Sesame Street one day, and they had I believe back then they had a guy, Y. Gordon.
Okay.
And when I started YCOP, I was thinking, why not a cop?
Right. Okay.
Right. So now I came up with the YCOP. Then I had to create
the letters of what that meant.
What the letters, what the letters meant, and I came up with Youth Community Outreach Program.
Nice.
Now, at that time, I dealt with teenagers. There wasn't as many rules, and you didn't have to be child care counsel. You didn't have to belong to all those different programs to deal with teenagers. So I was dealing with the teenagers. I got to go back. And then I was running a program out of the Church of Ascension on Prairie Avenue.
Okay.
The pastor there let me have the space to run the program. Then what happened, they remodeled their gym, so I couldn't have the program there. But what I did was use basketball as the carrot. Because Mount Vernon is, as we know, is the basketball capital of New York State.
Absolutely.
So I used basketball as the carrot. Now, if I got basketball and a basketball team, then we need cheerleaders. So combined with the Razorback cheerleaders, and the people from the community, I started a cheerleader squad to go with the basketball. So that took care of the males and females. It took care of a large part of the youth in the community. After getting that going, I then came up with the idea to start a citywide Olympics. So I got the basketball team I had. We dealt with some of the other churches that had basketball, and we created a competition. And what I did was I sent a letter to all the churches to start a program in their centers or in their church. This way it kept the kids that lived on the north side or lived way, everybody had an area to go to. I won't mention the church, but I was told, who am I to want to do a program in a certain church? I got that message. And I also told them that I had people that would run the program in each of those churches. So what happened was Church of Ascension allowed me to use that space, and that's actually where YCOP started. Now, I know at that time that Henry, the executive director of YCOP, he was running a program out of
Neighborhood Health Center, Mount Vernon Neighborhood Health Center.
Out of the health center.
Mm-hmm.
So we got our heads together, and I talked with him about us getting together to take care of the youth in the community. Well, Henry and I went and had a meeting with people in the community, and Henry came up with the idea of having a daycare center. Now, I was told the ages 6 to 12 sort of stay away from them, because then you have to have a child care license, you have to have all types of licenses. But fortunately, Henry was the man to have on your side, because he knew the process to go through to get the licenses, to fill out all the paperwork, to do everything that was needed to actually do that. So that happened.
I'm sorry to interrupt, brother.
Go ahead, man.
Is that Henry Thomas?
Okay.
Yes?
No.
So no.
No, it's not Mr. Thomas.
That's-
Okay, I wanted to be sure.
So
No, it's Henry Wilson.
Henry Wilson.
Hel-
So
Henry Wilson. I'm sorry, Henry Wilson.
it's a great introduction. First, I'm the ex-executive director, and now I'm getting mixed up with Henry. I am Henry Wilson. Let me speak, as Brother AJ would say, truth to power. I am Henry Wilson.
You know what, Henry? I didn't think it possibly could be you, because I thought you were a little bit too young for that role.
Well, yeah, okay, good comeback. I love it. I love it. So let me just, brother. So basically, in a nutshell, what YCOP was in the 80s and the 90s and in the early 2000s, and then went on hiatus for a number of years. And when Alan Ayers contacted me somewhere around 2011, said he wanted to bring YCOP back, one of the first things that I said to him was, no, I'm not going to do it, because I knew that Mount Vernon was a divided city in many aspects, and it was a lot of challenges. But then, after speaking, as Brother Allen said, to people who I felt confident and getting certain advice from, one of those individuals, and I don't mind, Roberta Apuzzo, who we met with tremendous on a number of occasions in her office, advised me to do this. And basically what I said to Brother Allen is not going to be the YCOP of yesteryear. It has to take on a new direction, because of what he just mentioned, is that nowadays everybody has to be certified, qualified, and bona fide in order to run a successful youth care program. And so with that, we went out and got the necessary permits, licenses, and certifications to run an after-school program for starters. I'm sorry, a summer camp program for starters. And while I'm on it real quick, let me give shout-outs to the First United Methodist Church, where I'm a member of, and Pastor Chen is the pastor of, who has allowed us to grow our program. So, brother, we've started from a summer camp in 2012 with 35 campers, and now we average about 150, 60 campers every year since then. We have an after-school program. We have a girls empowerment group. We have a counseling training program. We have an out-of-school program. And most importantly, what Brother Allen alluded to, we have a youth development basketball program that meets every Saturday that can attract anywhere up to 50 kids, 5 to 15 years of age. As a result of that, as our program has grown, we've been able to employ people. So we went from 6 employees the first year to an average of 20 employees now, year round. So one of the employees that, and I'm proud to have on our staff, and I can mention, and I will mention them later, but joining us this evening is Donna Brown, who her main focus is to do outreach and development and contact people on what we do and why we do it.
Yeah, that's why nobody takes my phone calls, because
Nobody
takes my phone calls because I'm always asking for something. You know, when you hear from Donna Brown, she wants something, and whether it's your participation, your support, be it financially or physically, because we're going to hit you up, both of you, to come and speak to our children, because a big part of our program is a mentorship. And we have, especially for young black males, they are lacking leaders. They have to look outside of their community for people to look up to, with people as guidance. So whenever we run across anyone that's involved and cares about their community and can speak to our children, we'd like you to come on in, and because again, just what we were speaking of earlier, we have to guide the children. And when they see someone successful, because we can tell them a lot of things, but when they can see someone that's successful in something, in an area in which they are interested, they'll listen to them.
Absolutely.
And I got hooked in because I was volunteering, and then all of a sudden I ended up with a job. Henry tends to do that to people. I think that's how Kevin started. Kevin's children were there, and now he's not only just our board member, he's our health director also.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing about Kevin too. When I first met Kevin, what I liked about him, he was running for school board.
Right.
You know, I tried to be as supportive as I can in that. But what I said, and I said this about Brenda Crump and one or two other people, when you see people who don't end up having a title or lose the election, that are more involved than the actual people who have the position, those are people that we have to uplift and we have to give credit to. And those are people that we want, as far as I'm concerned, that's the people I want in office, the people that do the work without the position. You know what I'm saying? Some people will do it because they have the position, or if they lose an election, you don't hear from them.
Right.
And think of some of the last elections. There's some people we ain't heard from since the day after the primary. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but this brother is putting in work. He was putting in work before he decided to run, before he did not win, and he's still been very active. And I just want to, like I said, we're about uplifting, especially our black men, because, you know, the image of black men in this country. You know what I'm saying? And our black boys when they're doing something, but our girls too, but especially that we have. So I just wanted to say that before you spoke. I wanted to give you that.
Yeah, thank you for that. That's great work. Appreciate it. But I actually met Mr. Henry Wilson when I was running for school board. One of our trustees, Keisha Chisholm, I met her, I think it was at a banquet, and she said, "Yo, you're running for school board in Mount Vernon, and you haven't talked to Mr. Henry Wilson?" I said, "No." So she gave me his phone number. I called him. We set up a meeting, and we talked. I told him what I was about, and he said I could hand out the flyers to the parents, and we became friends. I came to speak to the youth. So I'm a paramedic, so I came, you know, and talked to the young people about what I do and my passion for chess. It kept me out of trouble when I was young. So me and Brother Henry talked about me starting a chess club at Wyckoff, which we saw come into fruition this summer. That's right. We had a chess league, chess tournament, and we had about 15, 20 kids that were learning the game, and it was good. I became their health director. They had a need, and I saw on Facebook that they were looking for somebody to fill a spot. So I just decided I would come just help, volunteer a few days a week. It turned out I'm there like every day. My kids start coming. I was there, you know, when I'm not at work, I'm at YCOP. You know, I fell in love with the children, the vision that Brother Henry had for the community and the children. And, you know, you're just drawn to it. And so now I'm there, like, all the time. And now I'm on his board, actually. So, yeah, I just really appreciate what they're trying to do. And that's why I contact you and I said, you know, hey, AJ, this group of people you have to meet. You know, people have to know about YCOP, what they're trying to do in the city for these children. You have other organizations out there, you know, Boys Club or whatever. You know, we don't have a Denzel Washington speaking for us, you know. Mm-hmm. So we're just trying to get out there and let people know the great things that YCOP is doing. Mr. Ayers, Mr. Wilson, Ms. Donna, and you know, this is a good it's a great organization. It's something Mount Vernon needs right now.
I don't know if y'all heard when I was doing in my intro, I said, you know, you always hear adults complain the youth are out of control. And I always said, and I always say on the show, there was a lot of older people that got at me when I was that age, and because of them, I'm not dead or in jail. Mm-hmm. So I make a lot of adults angry when I say, is it the youth that's failing us, or mm-hmm. is it all of y'all that have failed the youth? Mm-hmm. All of us, you know what I'm saying? Like, and usually that doesn't get a welcome, welcome. But then I said, when we do have one of the things we complain in a city like Mount Vernon, and we've heard about in all the elections and debates and every time it comes up, is programs for the youth.
Right.
We've heard from the kids themselves, there's nothing for the youth to do. There are no programs, there are no activities. And when we find one, and that's why I said we have to, my position, I have to uplift y'all and introduce y'all to those that don't know what y'all do and educate them. And then everybody listening to my voice and everybody as they learn about this organization needs to support the organization. You know what I'm saying? So y'all can continue, because, you know, a lot of people talk about what we do with Black Westchester, but it takes money to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it takes money to put that paper out and keep it free to the community every month. You know what I'm saying? So, plug, we need them advertisers. But, you know, but right. I say that to say, maybe they cannot come to your event. You understand what I'm saying? And it shouldn't take an event. If you have some money, that you should just donate. This is something, you got some money to go somewhere, this is something you should donate. So before we go any further, for anyone listening after I made that speech and wants to just donate money to help y'all keep going, how can that do that, and what other things is it that y'all need from the people?
So here's the thing, you know, first people can contact, let me just repeat that again, Henry Wilson at 914-215-3063. They can contact me directly. They can contact us, Henry Wilson, by email, ycop2012@gmail.com. And I think it's also, you can contact dbrown.ycop@gmail.com. So if you want to be a guest speaker, we're always looking for guest speakers. We like to fill up our calendars for our after school and summer camp program. And we try to average, we nearly average about 25, 30 speakers a year. I can go over a number of individuals in Mount Vernon and throughout that have come down to our facility talk. Our latest speaker was the county executive, George Latimer, who came, you know, on the whim of a call from Donna Brown. But let me just go back to something that you said, Brother AJ, that, you know, in taking the vision of what Alan Ayers saw years ago, and trying to bring into fruition now, takes a lot of work. And you can't do this work by yourself. You know this already. And it takes a conglomerate, it takes a whole plethora of people to make this work. And I can go through all those individuals that work for me now, from Mr. C to Ms. Betsy to Karen Palmer, to we had to build up a new board of trustees, to Donna Brown, to people who are from behind the scenes, Monique Harding. A lot of individuals have made this come together. Then we had to gain the trust of our parents. And although Ms. Donna spoke to the black male population, which is needed to see black males in positions that can make a difference. We have a diverse population of individuals. We have the Hispanic kids, we have the Brazilian, the Portuguese, the African Caribbean, the African American. So we try to cover the community. Last but not least, a lot of reasons why individuals or people don't know about us too much, but then there are a lot of people who do know about us, is because I don't heavily promote. Because you know what? We offer a good product. And then I have to make sure, and I'm going to be honest, we offer a very good product, and I have to make sure in order that we have that good product, that we're prepared to meet the demand. Because we see, this is why people keep returning to us every year. Every summer, our numbers go up. We can take easily 200 people in the camp. But our transportation for field trips won't accommodate that. And you're right, it takes money. So one of the reasons why we get so many in our programs is because when parents pay, it goes back into the kids. The field trips, 18 field trips a summer, swimming lessons, soccer lessons, I can go on and on and on. Tennis. So I invite you to visit our Facebook page. You can see and learn more about us. I try to post as much stuff as possible. So when we have talented people.
So what is the Facebook page?
Facebook page is YCOP. Let me read it because I can never remember it. Facebook.com/YCOPMVNY. Facebook.com/YCOPMVNY. And then I bring on talented people like Brother Kevin, who, as a result, one of the reasons why we came together is because your cousin, Alita Johnson, a very good friend of mine, used to work with me at the health center, and she was unable to do it, being my health director.
Shout out to my cousin, Alita.
Love that sister. And we've been friends for many years. And then the blessing came that Kevin came around. The only reason, and our first health director, Roderick Hines, call him Sally Moe with the fire department, got promoted to lieutenant. So we had three good people in our midst, and so we need talented people. So when I talk about the vision, I'm talking about bringing it from the drop-in to an organization.
And Betsy said, visit us at YCLOP 227 East Lincoln Avenue, Alberta, New York, 10552.
It's Betsy Dorland. That's right. Betsy was our honoree last year. She received the, the Volunteer of the Year Award. Monique Harding received the Above and Beyond Award, and Roberta Apuzzo received the Legacy Award. But let me just mention our dinner dance real quick about this year's honorees. This year's honorees include, Dee Dee Watson, who's one of our youth directors, youth counselors at the program. She started as a CIT. She worked herself up.
What is CIT for people that don't know?
Counselor in Training.
Okay, because that's what I try to
educate. No, I got you. I appreciate that. So she started off as a CIT, but she also started when we was with the former YMCA with Sean Howard and Karen Watts, two sisters of mine. Dee Dee is also, she's attending college this year, so she's receiving the Youth Award. Okay. Our brothers at the fire department, Mount Vernon Fire Department, local 107?
Yes.
Will be receiving the Above and Beyond Award because those brothers, unsung heroes, come in without all the fanfare and have always come to YCOP's aid and side in philanthropy, volunteerism, and just in donating their time.
Can I say one thing?
Yes,
I always say this, and I always take the opportunity to say this. It's for firemen and police officers, especially firemen. When the bullets go, the normal thing in your mind is to go the opposite way.
Not them.
When something's on fire, the normal thing is to go the opposite way to stay. It takes a special individual to run into a burning building.
That's right.
To save people that ain't related to them. You know what I'm saying?
That's
like
right.
that. Seriously, I don't know. I mean, I'd like to think I do have that in me, but I don't know. We don't all have that in us. It takes special individuals, and there's a special place in heaven for all of them, for real, for the work that they do. And I always, when I get a chance, I like to big up all, not Mount Vernon Fire, but all firefighters that put their lives, Barry McGooey and the Yonkers firefighters, all the firefighters out there that put their life on the line. I can't say this enough. Also, our police officers as well, who go out and do the job right. You know what I'm saying? Who protect and, those who do protect and serve us. There's a few bad apples, but, they run two bullets. and I'm not running to no bullet. I'm
No,
sorry.
I got that. I got that. But you know, it's interesting that you mentioned the police department and Allen Ayers' association. So when I think of Sergeant Jennifer Carpenter,
Yes.
and the union president for the PBA, Brent Gamble, these guys, although they're not being honored, they've always been supportive of our program as well. Many of them, and I think of Officer Sophia, who comes by, and Christine Johnson. Betsy might let me know if that's right or not. These two officers, Officer Sophia and Officer Johnson, come by twice a week to help out with our Girls Empowerment Group.
On their own time.
On their own time.
Wow.
And that has been, they don't ask for anything, but I just want to acknowledge, although they're not being recognized in the same manner that the fire department is, the police department, a lot of the individuals, not all of them, step up and speak up for. And let me just finish with the honorees, because we have, who else is it?
Mr. C, did you say Mr.
We have
C?
Mr. C, Mr. Charles Cowan, who's been a good friend of mine, a basketball coach in Mount Vernon, a teacher in the Mount Vernon School District. He works now at Amani with Deborah Stern. He is being recognized the Educator of the Year award. He's like the Pied Piper of Mount Vernon. Gregory Leon Harris will be receiving the Volunteer of the Year award, along with Mr. Thomas Moran. These two individuals have stepped up from the beginning. And then last but not least, I think I got it all, we're honoring the one individual who I think deserves it in the same manner that Michelle Obama has given Barack Obama all the support that he has in the 4 years. Mr. Allen Ayers' wife, Dorothy Ayers, will be receiving the Allen D. Ayers Jr. Legacy Award.
That's for all
the honorees, right.
I just wanted, if we have a second, I just wanted to say that one of the wonderful things about YCOP is, too, we are affordable, and we try to stay affordable. And the reason that we're fundraising and having events and selling fish and having a men who cook and selling ice cream pops and doing whatever it is that we need to do throughout the community by selling raffles is because we try to provide scholarships for our parents, especially those that have more than one child in aftercare. And if you are a parent, you understand how expensive it is, not just to have one child, but how about if you have 2 or 3 school-age children and you're trying to get them safe and conscientious care. And that's what we do. We have one child that basically she just comes. And we allow that because she's our family. And we take care of our family. When we say that we feed our children, it's not some garbage. We cook. Our gentleman that's getting an award, Tommy Moran, we cook a vegetable, a snack, a starch, meat,
full
milk,
dinner.
a full dinner, so that these parents can come and
Every
pick up
night.
their children and know that they've been fed. Also, these and it's
It might be some of them might be the only full meal they actually get.
That's
in.
exactly right.
Amen. And that's why we feel that. That's one of the reasons why we feel so passionately about what we do, because our children deserve a safe place, they deserve a haven, and the parents deserve to have something that isn't a burden. I know my daughter at one point, she was paying over $1,500 a month for aftercare. And and we're nowhere near that. Nowhere near that. But still, we need help.
Well,
we need help to help
why,
our parents.
Like, first off, I respect your position, because I'm the person, when they hear my voice, I'm asking for something. Usually I'm the advertisement, or, anybody who's ever written for us knows I'm always asking for you to turn in your articles. So when they hear my voice, I'm always asking for something too. And you become a broken record. And I know sometimes people see my number and they, what does AJ want now?
That's it.
But, I mean, it takes money to run Black Westchester, and we have money for anything that we want to have money for.
Amen.
We have money for, the two, 3 things that'll never go out of style, and they'll never have some form of entertainment, whatever that means for you. And whatever your habit or pleasure is, those things we'll always have money for those things. You know what I'm saying? There's kids walking around with Jordans and their parents got them in a windbreaker for the winter. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes our priorities are not in order, but I want to, outside of what you're doing, I want to keep banging that if you're listening to me, even if you don't have any children in the game right now, you need to support this organization. And for all those people who say, well, it's not my problem, I don't have no kids, guess what?
It is your problem.
The kids that don't go and they don't have nothing to do and they knocking you upside your head later on and taking your pocketbook, it become your problem. So, yeah, so you know what I'm saying? Support.
I'm glad you said that, because I tell everyone, don't look at this or any other institution, the Boys Club, the old YMCA. This is not overglorified child care babysitting. This is structured programs where you can learn and see and be exposed to positive individuals on a daily basis. And then when I mentioned that when you come to our program specifically, these are trained individuals. These are not just people, I'm saying, hey, I need a body here, to watch. These are trained individuals, whether it's from nutrition, whether it's from management and development, whether it's from health, whether it's from child care. A lot of our staff are teachers or teachers' assistants. And remember, we had to be licensed. And let me throw out kudos to YCOP because of all the people, and I can't mention everybody, but in 2017, YCOP was recognized after 6 years of operation by the Chair Cal Council for being the best program in Westchester for promoting early child care and education in the county of Westchester. Nice. So, that takes a lot of hard work, and that takes a lot of people.
I want to say congratulations on that. Now, program we end at 8. I want if Jesse could come in and bring a bench with him, a chair, one of them, and sit next to Atif. I want to give them at least a few minutes to talk about their program. Sure. But I want to give y'all last words. Y'all don't have to leave.
No, we're not leaving, bro, because we got another 15, 20 minutes.
So Jesse, if you can bring a bench and then fit in somewhere over where Atif is, and we're gonna slide you in. Because and then the reason I really want it is good progression of things. So I'm not going to make it to your event, but Atif is our newest representative of everything going on in Mount Vernon. Right. Atif will be there, and he, I wanted him to meet y'all and y'all to meet him, and he was going to be the one representing Black Westchester at the event. And either come back next week or call in next week and tell everybody all about it.
Oh, absolutely.
And then do some sort of write-up or something about it.
Absolutely.
But the other thing I wanted to applaud this young man, I've talked about what he does for Black Westchester. Along with the gentleman who just walked in, Jesse, I always tell people, we got to stop complaining around the water cooler. We got to stop complaining in the household at the picnics. We have to do something sometimes. And sometimes that takes different forms. And we all need to do what we're strong in. For me, writing is what I do. Mm-hmm. Writing, talking, running my, this is what I do. So this is where I'm strong at. These brothers right here, and people get tired of hearing me, Damon, Andre, whoever else, and Bob, the same voices over and over and over. The same voices at City Council. Sure. We got a young brother, and I applaud all young brothers who step up, and sisters, because at his age, I wasn't thinking about none of this. I wasn't doing none of this. And secondly, Jesse's a new face that a lot of people haven't seen, who just simply got fed up of what's happening in his city and said, I have to speak up. They formed an organization or a foundation called Save Mount Vernon, and they're having a rally coming up. And I know we don't have a lot of time, but quickly, I want y'all to talk about this upcoming rally, which will be the second one, why y'all are doing it. And when you talk, pull the mic up to you, Jesse. Okay.
Well, quickly, I'm just going to talk about, that we're doing a rally this Saturday, September 29th, in front of City Hall. This is our second rally. The first one we had was back in August, I believe. It was in August. Yeah. And then now this one would be specifically towards awareness of the unsolved murders in Mount Vernon. And believe it or not, there are over 15 unsolved murders in Mount Vernon.
I think there's more, actually. But
and there could be 15, more. There's 15 is what I know of. But like AJ said, there could be more because I am learning. 6 or 8 from
last year alone. From 2017. I don't know what the 2018 number is. Yeah.
So we need to not forget about these families and these victims. We need to bring awareness to the community that there are an excessive amount of unsolved murders, and we need our police, our administration to step up and to maybe bring back our major gang and case squads, because right now families are left without closure. They're left without knowing, or having justice for their family member or victim, and that hurts. And so on Saturday, I just want to really drive this home.
What time? People are saying what time?
11 a.m. It's going to be at 11 a.m. in front of City Hall, Mount Vernon, as 1 Roosevelt Square. Please come down. If you know any family members that are going through this, like if they have a case or a victim and their case has not been solved, please reach out to us on Save Mount Vernon. We're on Facebook, Save Mount Vernon. And then there is where you will see the event to the rally on the 29th. But I'm going to let Jesse speak on that and part 2 as well, because there is a part 2 to this rally.
My thing is, where does it stop? You vote, you have a voice. And people need to stand up in Mount Vernon, come together, like I just said. If you vote, just don't let the elected official come in there and sit down and take a seat and nothing is said. Our city's upside down right now. And yeah, I took a stand. I got tired of watching everything going the way it's going. Saturday should be a good day. Basically, you got some parents that's going to be there. It's not be a good day for them. Right. So I understand that, all right? But I'm saying a good day for the turnout. I need people to come, show their support for the city of Mount Vernon, what's going on. I'm not going to point fingers today, but Saturday, I'll point some fingers. If you don't want to hear what I have to say, I'm advise you don't come, because fingers need to be pointed now. Administration is upside down.
It is.
The police commissioner cannot do his job because somebody's pulling the strings. We don't have a major case squad. We don't have a gang unit. He's saying the crime is down. No, the crime is not down. They're showing you the stats, what they want to show you. So today, I'm not going to really get into it today, criticize. But Saturday when you come, 11 o'clock, please bring friends, brothers, sisters, mothers, uncles. It doesn't matter who's standing there. And if you want to voice your concern, then do it.
I want to before I give Wildcop a chance to say closing words. The reason, and this happened organically, this was not planned, but the reason it's important for all of y'all to be in the room, what they are highlighting is the result of what happens when organizations like you don't exist.
Exactly.
And by not supporting, and I'm going to keep putting this, by not supporting this group, the things that they're talking about could be a whole lot worse in the city of Mount Vernon and other urban cities as well.
Good
but
point,
specifically for the city of Mount Vernon. So this is kind of like a before and after. Y'all are trying to hit them before they get to that point, before they are a picture on a T-shirt and a parent crying. A parent crying about the unsolved murder of them, you know what I'm saying? Or a kid out there, because they had nothing else to do, got caught up in the gang life and end up shooting somebody because there was no place for him to go or her to go. Because sometimes it's not just the guys. For him or her to go. Or worst case scenario, if it's neither one of those, they end up where Damon works. In Valhalla.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Inmate
So like I said, there's a reason why I'm not dead or in jail, and it's because of all those who saw something in me and pulled me by the collar. You know what I'm saying? There's several. I always big them up, all the ones, you know who I'm talking about, and I'll do it again later. There's not enough time today. But because of that, that's why I want to show. I mean, I could do a whole show on just this. But you know what I'm saying? While like at the time, I wanted to sum this up. This is organizations like this is important so that we don't have more of that on both sides, the victim and the person doing the crime. So that I wanted to say. Please talk about your fundraiser one more time, date, time, where it is, and where people can find you online to contact you, and where they can make a donation, real quick.
Okay, our major fundraising event is this Thursday, September 27th. There are still tickets available. We are having our event. It's a dinner. We're going to have entertainment. There's beautiful items for raffle and beautiful items to be bid on. September 27th, this Thursday, 6:30 p.m., an open bar all night long. At
Kev is the marketer.
at Lake Isle in East Chester.
Very nice place.
Go right ahead and you can call either Mr. Henry Wilson or myself. Henry is at 914-215-3063, and I am at 914-308-6261, or just go to YCOP and just look us up on Google, YCOP of Mount Vernon, and you'll get to one of us. And we appreciate your support. We're doing, we're having fish fries, we're having menu cook events, we're doing whatever. We're out there in the corner hustling. So if you see any of a YCOP event, please give us a hand.
Okay, and real quick before you go, they're honoring Dorothy Ayers, Charles Cohen, the fire department of Mount Vernon, Local 107, Greg L. Harris, Thomas Morin, and Deanna. Did I say that? Deanna Watson. Yes, Betsy said your names were right. You said about the names Johnson and Sophie, whatever the names. She said you had the right names.
Great.
Real quick, where it's going to be, when it's going to be, and how they can reach you on social media to contact you to find out further information.
Go ahead. Saturday, July 29th, 11 o'clock in front of City Hall steps.
Not July 29th.
The 27th?
September.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm
July.
sorry. Getting the day. All right.
My birthday, man.
Like excuse me. All right. September 29th, 11 o'clock. All right. In front of City Hall.
And this is only part one. Remember, we're going to have part two in front. We're going to actually go into City Council chambers, and we're going to meet with City Council. So the second part of the rally, this is part one on Saturday. Part two is going to be at the next City Council meeting, which I believe is in October 10th.
The second
Wednesday of October. We're going to be at the City Council meeting, directly talking to the City Council members, and hopefully the mayor will be there, and so that they could see and meet with some of the victims' families.
October 10th. Well, my suggestion is deal with the City Council first, and then deal with the mayor as a separate interview. Don't bring them two together for that thing. Address the City Council so you have their full undivided attention, and then set up an appointment with the mayor's office and his administration. You know what I'm saying? And then have a separate meeting with them, and have separate conversations. And then if there's possible to bring them together, that you do. But you'll be more effective to get both entities separate, undivided attention, so there's no political back and forth and finger pointing. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to hear finger pointing. This is what we want
need. Action.
This is what can you do? You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear about what they're not doing. What can you do, and what are you willing to do? Exactly. And that's how you have to address them. Amen. Bob, last words?
That's how we will.
Well, one, I just wanted to thank everyone for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
And to acknowledge, and here I want to say especially a word about Brother Ayers, because Brother Ayers was one of those figures during when I was experiencing trouble in Mount Vernon, during that whole crack era, who was a real strong stand-up figure, who reminded us that there was a higher purpose that we could had to aspire for and we could achieve. And I really do say that with all sincerity. He was a reminder. And I want to say that all of y'all are carrying on that tradition, especially you, Mr. Wilson. Mr. Wilson, carrying on that tradition, because if it weren't for the brothers and sisters who get out there every day without really getting a lot of public recognition, but do all the hard work to make organizations for our young people work, we'd be in a much deeper crisis. And so I hope that we're all going to be more willing to do our part to join forces with them. I do want to add that tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., a number of elected officials led by Councilman Andre Wallace are going to have a press conference to highlight discovery of new kinds of irregularities going on in the city government of Mount Vernon. We have a responsibility to make sure that our government operates according to the rule of law and in the best interest of residents, and so I'd invite everyone, if you have time, to come out tomorrow and support that effort.
Well, with that, we're coming to the close of the show. I'd like to thank all of our guests. Henry Wilson, the executive
My
director. Kevin Bunch, board member. Alan Ayers, founder, and Donna Brown, development manager of YCOP Youth Community Outreach Program. Our guest co-host, Latif K. Coleman, and Jesse Van Loo, who both started Save Mount Vernon. Come out and support that. The Lewis brothers of Atlantic Star. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for all the work they do. Dr. Bob for always holding me down. Shout to Damon and Lorraine in
DK.
their absence. Lorraine said to tell you she will be back next week.
I miss Lorraine.
And with that, and you'll also don't forget the press conference tomorrow. Don't forget the Razorback event that Bob mentioned to you. And make sure, as pastors say in the church, just check Black Westchester and see everything going on, and we will definitely try our best to keep you informed. With that said, you could be doing anything else but right now, but you decide to ride with us. This is the Black Westchester presents the People Before Politics radio show every Sunday 6 to 8 on INTHEMIXXRADIO.com. Until next week, peace.
22 million black victims of Americanism are waking up, and they're gaining a new political consciousness, becoming politically mature. And as they develop this political maturity, they're able to see the recent trends in these political elections. Any minority that has a block of votes that stick together is in a strategic position. Either way you go, that's who gets it. You're in a position to determine who go to the White House and who stay in the doghouse. You're the one who has that power. You and I have never seen democracy. All we've seen is hypocrisy. When we open our eyes today and look around America, we see America not through the eyes of someone who has enjoyed the fruits of Americanism. We see America through the eyes of someone who has been the victim of Americanism. We don't see any American dream. We've experienced only the American nightmare. We haven't benefited from America's democracy. We've only suffered from America's hypocrisy. And the generation that's coming up now can see it and are not afraid to say it. 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 And are not afraid to say it.